that I'll never make it out, yeah. Please tell me all the bad, never good. Fill my head full of every single doubt, yeah. Please say any negative thoughts. I pop off when I hear people say I cannot. I get off to the thought of proving everyone wrong. I won't stop to the top, so you better back off and get lost. I'ma stay loud, stay proud, never running out, never heading south. I'll be spreading out, call it word of mouth. Can't put me down, I'll be getting loud. You can have your doubts, not what I'm about. Have your cloud, it be raining now. I keep making sound, go another round. I'm legend bound, can't stop me now. You don't wanna fuck with me. A slow burn like a disease. Just tell me that I can and I'll show you things that you couldn't believe. Just tell me that I can. Just tell me that I can. Just tell me that I can. Just tell me that I can.
What a time to be alive. Let me do one quick thing. What a time. I said what a time. What a time. What a time to be alive in the world of sports today, man. So much going on. Literally so much going on. We got the Bills. We got the Patriots. And somewhere out there, lurking in the streets of Mechanicsville, Schenectady, or wherever else he may have gone off to, is one Foxborough. One Frankie the Yankee, one Frankie C, just waiting, begging for this game to come on. What a time to be alive. What a time. All right, Gonzo, man, what's up, my brother?
Hey, how's it going, man?
Life is good, sir. Life is wonderful, especially Sunday when we play you guys and we do a watch-along. It's going to be amazing ride of roller coaster and emotions. I can see it now. Babyface, man. How is the world treating you, sir? Happy belated, or I guess late birthday. We've already told you happy birthday, but happy birthday again.
Yeah, man. Appreciate that. Yeah, Tuesday, my quarter century birthday, number 25 around the sun. And I'm doing good, man. Doing good. Fantasy team's looking A-okay. And Jay, I'm just saying, ever since I said it 2 weeks ago, the Raiders, they're on that win streak. They're coming, Jay.
Yeah, especially for the love of goodness, man. That Jacobs kid is just tearing it up.
He got about 45 fantasy points for someone last week.
Yeah, man. Like you could have benched the entire damn team and just started Jacobs, and you probably still would have won, or you'd have been damn close. I'll tell you that much. Interesting enough, lots and lots of things are going on in the world of sports. Let's just start off with some craziness. Yasiel Puig changed his plea, guys. Changed his plea to not guilty of lying to the investigative report or the probe that they were doing on the gambling that he had been doing through Nick's Entertainment. So now he's changing his tune. He's backpedaling due to what they call by the lawyers significant new evidence. Now, I wonder what they mean by significant new evidence. I guess we have to wait and see what more comes out on that. But again, a quote unquote from Yasiel, he said he never should have pled guilty to a crime he did not commit. And I guess a couple of the big things that these lawyers are trying to tell people are, number one, the man did not have an interpreter present, nor did he have a lawyer present at the time of the interrogation. So I think they're going to try to base it on, the dude didn't know what you were saying in, I guess, whatever language you were saying it in, and didn't have an interpreter to tell him. So what are we talking about? He's facing one felony count that could give him 5 years in prison. That was related to this back in 2019. So he's got that one felony count, not 5 years. Most likely, if he does get convicted, he'll get probation. According to his lawyers, they say Yasiel has a third-grade education and mental health issues. Okay. He might have a third-grade education, but that dude knows how to count to 280K betting on tennis, football, and basketball. I bet you he can count them damn digits.
No problem.
What a time. Gonzo, man, what you think about this Yasiel Puig and his third-grade education?
Well, it sounds like he just keeps making things worse for himself. It's going to be interesting to see what all ends up coming out of this. So you got Yasiel Puig with this situation. You got the police and the standoff with Antonio Brown. Just all kinds of crazy shit going on in the world.
Brother, you're not
Yeah,
kidding.
we get into the Antonio Brown when that's next up in the hot tops. What a time to be alive. Logan, man, Yasiel Puig, man. You think that dude understands the sensitivity, the nature that he finds himself in now?
It's weird, Jay. I mean, I don't know. He went from pleading guilty. We seem like this is pretty much a shut case. I mean, from what we've read, all the facts are kind of out there for the most part. But now we have a new chapter in this, and I mean, I still think he's going to be in some trouble. There's no question about that. But he might just be a little bit lessened now.
I wonder if Calvin Ridley, or not Calvin, I wonder if Yasiel through his interpreter is telling the guy, yo, Calvin Ridley bet on some stuff. All he did was get a year suspension. What are we talking about? What are you talking about?
Who knows?
I'm worried about some damn illegal gambling. But yeah, man, so Yasiel is going to get his court date at some point. We'll have to wait and see what happens. A little quick tidbit note, Horford did sign a 2-year, $20 million deal with the Celtics, so looks like we'll have a couple of more years watching him play with the Celtics and see if they can try to repeat out there in the East. Interestingly enough, of everything that's happening, I'm going to go in the order that I think the severity is, least to greatest. Puig and the gambling charges, that's weak as hell. We all know that's weak as hell. So we don't care too much about Puig. Now let's go over to Antonio freaking Brown. Wow. So Antonio gets into a verbal altercation with the woman in his home on November 28th at 1:30 in the afternoon. It then becomes a little physical, and Antonio throws a shoe at the woman, trying to usher her out of the house and trying to lock her out. And then the police come, and obviously he gets escorted back for domestic battery is what they're calling it, involving a shoe. Of course, he can't have a firearm. I'm telling you, man, it's more than just a damn shoe. They must have found firearms and other things that were not supposed to be around his possession to give him, domestic battery other than just a damn shoe. Because I don't know how many people throw a damn shoe at somebody. I mean, hell, I can't hit nobody about those shoes. I don't know. To me, that just seems like a very, I don't know. If I'm a cop, I'm like, oh, you threw a shoe, man. You got any marks? What are you looking at? What are we looking at here? But it's Antonio Brown. He does have a reputation of very insane amounts of things with the truck driver, with the incident out there in Dubai, with taking off the shirt and running through the end zone and acting like a complete crazy person. So sometimes Antonio Brown has to look himself in the mirror and be like, you know what, my reputation ain't the best. And so if I throw a shoe, more than likely I probably am going to jail. Because Logan, what do they say? The first one to the telephone. Where's the other one go?
Where they go, Jay? Tell people where they go.
Jail, baby. First one to the telephone. The other one goes to jail. Yeah, that's what happens. That's what happens. So anyway, but that was my little spiel on Antonio Brown. He gets his little 5 seconds of fame from me. Gonzo, man, Antonio, what are we looking at?
Oh man, kind of like what we talked about earlier. He's can't seem to get out of his own way. Dude has so much talent, and I don't think he'll ever be back in the league. And then now you got to wonder if he's just going to get his life back together. I mean, you got police basically waiting outside his house for him to either come out or get home. And pretty crazy situation, especially for police to be at his house waiting on him like that over just a misdemeanor. It makes you think that there has to be more to it.
Yeah, Logan, I think I'm going to do a group chat with me, Yasiel Puig, and Antonio Brown. Do a little 3-way group chat there. And in that group chat, I'm going to give them a very valuable song to learn. And it's by my good friend, Kenny Rogers. You got to know when to hold them, know when to walk away, know when to run. Better count your money when you're sitting at the table. Boy, they need that song more today than they did yesterday. What you thinking there, Bubba?
Man, whenever you kind of sit back and look at what all has transpired to him in the last 5 seasons, 5 years, whatever you want to call it. This guy went from being, in some people's minds, the top wide receiver in football to pretty much exiled from the league. I mean, I don't think he's going to sign anywhere. And pretty much constantly facing legal troubles.
Oh, absolutely.
Really, since he's been out of the league, there has been, I know you touched on something, but I'm sure there's other ones out there, just multiple cases seemingly every few months of him getting in trouble, major or minor. And, like Chris said, I hope he can get his life turned around first and foremost. I mean, forget football at this point, but hopefully, man, he can just get his life straight and back on track. Because, he's still a young guy. It ain't like he's, he ain't like he's been around for a long time. He's still really young, and hopefully he can get everything worked out and back on the straight and narrow, so we don't have to keep talking and bringing it up every other week, it feels like, about him getting in trouble.
Yeah, no doubt. And then, so that was about the second level of seriousness in terms of athletes getting in trouble, right? Let's talk about the last one.
Level 3.
In my mind is the worst of the worst. Worst of the worst. Florida quarterback. Son of the late, great John Kitna. Let's talk about Jalen Kitna, 19-year-old guy who, quote unquote, has been arrested on 2 counts of distribution of child pornography material. Also has been found 3 counts of child porn possession. So he had possession in the computer, and then he's also distributing. Now you say, well, Jay, how the hell did he distribute it? That's a good question. I'm glad you asked. He distributed via Discord, social freaking media. What a time to be alive. Kid's 19 years old. Gave him second degree felonies. Max he could get probably 15 years, probably a $10,000 fine. And definitely he's been suspended, and definitely from the Florida program. He said he thought the images that he put on Discord and the images that were in his computer were legal because he found the images online. Of course, he went 10 of 14 the day before for 181 yards and a touchdown, whatevs. I'm just saying, hey, somehow or another, I see Kitna, I see Puig, and I see Antonio Brown. All in the same little cage. And somehow or another, Kitna just stands up in the middle of that group like the replacements and just says, at first I was afraid, I was petrified, thinking I wouldn't have you by my side.
Oh, man.
What a time to be alive. Gonzo Kitna, man. Damn, son. Child pornography.
Oh, man.
God,
yeah.
John must be so happy. John must be so happy with his son right now.
John's probably wanting to find a hole somewhere and bury himself in it for a while, so he don't have to deal with everything his son just put the family into. There's no excuse for it. I don't care. You thought it was all right because it was on the internet. What kind of excuse is that?
Hey.
And from what I've read on it, it wasn't like it was just one time he posted something. He's posting multiple things. So I don't know, man. People are just. Thing is, his life is. He just ruined his life because.
Oh, he ruined everything.
And he's only 19.
Yeah, he's 19. You're going to be on a list for the sex offender list for the rest of your life. Yeah, he's he put himself in a bad situation, and not just himself. Now that's something your whole family has to deal with.
Oh, everybody is associated with that.
Yeah,
and it's not like your dad's not known. People know your last name. Wow.
Yeah,
it is what it is. Hey, if you do the crime, you got to do the time. Sorry.
Yeah, and Jay, he went out there and said that he wasn't aware and everything, but come on, man, you got to know right from wrong. I get you're 19, you're still really young, but you are technically an adult. It might not feel like it, it might not seem like it, but you are an adult, and
Oh, yeah.
Like Chris said, you're 19. You were seemingly, right? I mean, we can all pretty much say, potentially the starter next year for this team. And now his football career is done for. And he's going to have to work at a less than fulfilling job, we'll say, and just, live off of what his dad did at this point. Because, like you said, anywhere he moves, he's going to have to go door to door.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And, it's a shame that someone that young at only 19, who still in college, now has to go the rest of his life, however many more years are left, and look back on that and realize, man, I really screwed up.
Oh, yeah. Well, he ain't got to worry about it every time he goes for a damn job application or anytime he gets near a school. Yeah, he'll be reminded real quickly of what he is. All right, man. Hey, let's move on to better topics. Those were the three felonies.
Let's bring some positivity in here, Jay.
Man, like I said, man, what a time to be alive if you're a sports person. Let me tell you. Hey, if we can, let's go on ahead and get into some show here, man. Hey, lots of stuff going on. Lots and lots and lots and lots and lots. Let's get a little bit of these conference championship games, gentlemen. Let's talk a little conference if we can. The first one up for Sue is tomorrow. Well, tonight we get the Bills and we get the Pats. So we're already off to a hellified start. So we got a nice Thursday night game with a lot of fucking weight and a lot of implications. We'll get more of that into the next topic.
Hey, Jay.
But then we move. Yeah, go ahead.
I just want a comment that was just made. The NIL has nothing to do with these guys doing stupid things.
No, not at all. Come on.
It has nothing to do with NIL. These guys are going to do these stupid things whether they have money or don't have money. So I don't.
People were doing this way before.
Yeah, that's because they got this NIL.
Gonzo, that's your one. The next time you interrupt me when I'm in a spiel over some bullshit like what Damien just posted, I'm putting you in timeout. I will call your father. I will have him come into the room. Hey, I didn't want to do it, but if you go put himself in timeout.
Chris, come back.
No, but for real, hey, look, guys. So we're going to come off tonight's game already pumped up for Friday. And then on Friday, we get Utah versus USC right off the rip, which I think this is going to be a freaking amazing Pac-12 championship. Plus, I mean, we've seen Utah. We've seen USC. We've been having questions. Should USC be number 4? Well, we're going to see it right now on Friday, whether or not that really does hold water because Utah, look, I understand they're 9-3, but Utah has gotten some good wins, and Utah does have a credible team. So they are going to see a nice number 11 versus number 4 matchup. I think the QB advantage goes to USC. Obviously, Caleb Williams, he's in alignment for the Heisman. I think the running back goes to Kincaid for Utah, put up outstanding numbers. But then when you kind of break it down to points per game, I think that's USC at 42. But it's going to be interesting because points allowed at Utah is 39 on defense. So when I look at this game, I see the strength going to Utah in that run game. And the strength going to the run game and yards that they give up, right? So that Utah defense is going to have to be on point. And I think Utah versus number 12. Why can't I ever read my? Oregon. When Utah lost to number 12, Oregon, that really was the only loss that really stuck out at me. USC has played ranked UCLA and Notre Dame. So I'm going to give the victory to USC. But I think Utah, if they can put that good run defense out there and try to limit as much as they can on Williams' passing game, that's going to be the strength to them having an opportunity. But they're going to have to do something with Caleb Williams and that run defense in order for them to have a shot at it. But otherwise, I think USC pulls off the win. Who do you got, Gonzo?
Oh, man. This is going to be a real good game, like you said. Neither team has much of a defense, really. These two teams did play earlier in the season with Utah beating USC 43-42. So that's actually USC's only loss on the year. So USC is going to be trying to avenge their loss.
Right.
I think USC gets the job done this time. I just trust Caleb Williams at quarterback a little bit more than I do the Utah offense. But it's basically going to come down to which defense can make the most plays. And we both know both these teams have had struggles on defense. So I think it's going to depend on whose defense shows up. I'm going to go with USC, but I'm expecting another close game like we had earlier in the season.
Absolutely, absolutely. Logan, again, man, is this one of those kind of games, kind of like what me and Gonzo are saying, where this is kind of one of those games where it's a prove it? Do you really belong at the number 4 spot? Is it a prove it game for SC?
Yeah, man, I think it's going to be a great ball game. I think, we're hopefully we'll see kind of a rematch what we did earlier in the year with these two squads here. But I do think I'm going to have to give the slight edge to USC. Like I said, they've been riding the hot hand. They're trying to maintain that top 4 spot. So I think I'll go with them winning this one. And another close ball game, though. I think it'll be close, less than 10 points for sure.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. And then, of course, that kind of gets us primed up on Friday in lieu of what's coming down on Saturday. And Saturday's just going to be stupid off the chain. The first up for bids is going to be TCU at Kansas State. I don't see Kansas State really doing too much in this. I think this is going to be straight all TCU. Again, this is the Big 12 championship. But I think when I look at this, quarterback, running back, wide receiver, when I look at all the positions on offense, or I should say, skill positions, I think TCU definitely has the advantage. I think Max Duggan and company will get the job done easily over Kansas State. And I actually have TCU blowing out Kansas State and really solidifying in people's mind, because Kansas State's ranked number 10. I think they're going to solidify in people's mind that they should be in this top 4, that they're not just there by chance. Gonzo?
I think TCU wins this game, but I don't think it's going to be a blowout. They played earlier in the year. TCU ended up winning by 10 points, but TCU was down like 11 going into the fourth quarter in that game.
Oh, yeah. That's because the running back and Duggan had the flu. No big deal. All right. We put them up for electrolytes. We're ready to go.
I think TCU wins, but I do think it's going to be a close game.
Fair enough. Logan, what you think, man? TCU, Kansas State, man. Did Logan go to sleep on me?
Oh, no, I'm here. My bad. I was on mute. But no, I think TCU is going to get the win in this one. Kind of like USC, they're trying to maintain that spot, which, God, I want some new teams in this. So I'm rooting all for them. But I don't think Kansas State's going to be a pushover by any means. But I will go with TCU. I'll have them up by, let's go 14.
Roger that. Goes. Sweater pattern is full. Then we're going to move on to number 3, where we get LSU versus Georgia. The SEC showdown. 9-3 LSU, obviously, versus 12-0 UGA. I got to be honest with you, man. I don't think LSU, as much as I would like to see LSU win here, because I hate freaking Alabama. I'm almost sit there playing Alabama. As much as I like underdog teams, and I like to see teams kind of take a bump. Take one bump, especially like a team like Georgia, which right now is a powerhouse. I want to see Georgia take a bump and go one victory or take that one loss and see if they can run it back next year. I don't know why, man. I'm throwing a lot of hate towards Georgia right now. I know that, Logan. I know I'm throwing hate towards your Bulldogs, man, but I'm doing that. I don't care. But at the end of the day, though, man, honestly, if I'm speaking realistically, UGA does have a more well-balanced attack and they have a better defense. I think Georgia will give up probably 79 yards on the ground. I think they give up about 191 passing yards. Typically, is what Georgia will give up on their defensive side of the ball. And because they're so stingy on that defensive side, it's obviously going to allow that offensive side to do what they got to do. So to that, hey, I think LSU, man, hey, you did a good job, but you out of here, Last State University. Get your ass to the back of the line. Georgia will take this game, unfortunately. Gonzo. Georgia, LSU.
Oh yeah, I have Georgia winning this game. If I remember right, they're like 18-point favorites or something. I just don't.
Oh yeah, they're very heavily favored.
Yeah, I don't think LSU's offense is going to be able to put up enough points against that Georgia defense. Actually, the pick I gave out today was the LSU and Georgia game over 51 points.
Right.
Basically, because I think Georgia's going to score quite a bit on that LSU defense.
No, I definitely agree with you to the point so much that Logan, when Daniels is your primary running back and he's really your quarterback, but when you go and look and see who has the most rushing yards is Daniels, I just think it's gonna make it really hard for LSU to do anything to this UGA team. And let's not forget, LSU is coming off a whooping from the Aggies before this. What do you think?
Yeah, I think Georgia. Earlier in the year, LSU looked like they were going to be a pretty formidable force. I mean, obviously, there's a reason they're here, but I think that Georgia just looks a little bit better. I know they haven't looked the sharpest in recent weeks, but we've seen in the last years under Coach Kirby Smart that when the lights get bright, they show up, right?
Yeah.
They're coming off a national championship. They haven't lost a game this year. Only lost one last year in the SEC championship. So I think that they'll get the win in this one by a good margin. I mean, like Chris said, they're an 18-point favorite. So I just think, a lot of the questions coming into the year were how good was the defense going to be for this team, since they pretty much lost half their squad to the draft.
Right.
And they have looked, they have not skipped a beat. And that's a sign of great recruiting and even better coaching. So I'll go with Georgia getting the big win in this one in Atlanta.
Absolutely. And then, of course, Damian says he's got USC versus Michigan in the title. Okay.
Wow, okay.
Hey. And then he has Georgia winning over LSU, which I think we're all pretty much unanimous on that. Then we kind of go to the fourth game of the night, and it's going to be UCF at number 22 versus number 18 Tulane. In the American Athletic Championship. This is a revenge game. It's a revenge game. I think UCF won last go around 38-31 over Tulane. So I'm actually going to pick Tulane to take this one and put it right back on UCF. So I'm going with Tulane. No, you know what? No, I'm not going to do that. No. I selected UCF in this on my board, and then I'm going back to Tulane. But no, I'm going to stick with my original. I'm going to say UCF at 9-3, 22 ranked, takes out 10-2 Tulane at 18. I'm going to stick with UCF. My gut is just telling me that. Gonzo, who are you looking at, UCF or Tulane?
I'm going to go with Tulane just because you went with UCF.
Hey, I like that. I appreciate that. I like a little sauciness. Like a little Chianti with your father.
No, honestly, I think this is going to be another game, a real close game like last time they played.
Right.
You said what, 38-31? It's going to basically come down to which
UCF's way. That's why I call it the revenge game. I feel like this is probably Tulane's revenge.
So it depends on which defense can make a key stop. And I'm going to go with Tulane this time to pull out the victory.
Absolutely. Okay. Logan, who are you taking, UCF or Tulane?
I'm riding that green wave, Jay. I got to go with
green wave.
I got to ride with them, bro. They haven't won a conference championship since '98. It's a long time coming for this program, man. So I'm going to have them getting the win, getting their first title in 20 some odd years, 24 years. So the fans have waited for it, and I think they'll pay off with it.
Okay. No, that's fine. Hey, like I said, it's a revenge game, so you never know, right? Next time up is going to the Big Ten championship game, Purdue versus Michigan, 8-4 Boilermakers versus 12-0 Wolverines. We kind of know that Corum is out for this game, so you're going to get a big dose of Edwards. I wonder if Purdue's defense can handle the smash mouth that Michigan's going to bring, because we know Ohio obviously couldn't handle it. The one weakness for Purdue is their quarterback is susceptible to throw the pick. He's got 11 picks on the season, so that kind of is an issue there. But I think that smash mouth football and controlling the clock is going to put Michigan over Purdue. And I think that wide receiver Jones is going to need a big day versus Michigan. He's just going to have a big day to combat what Michigan's going to bring via the run game. Gonzo?
I think Michigan's going to win this game. Purdue's not near as good of a team as Michigan. Purdue basically has made the championship game because they were on the opposite side of your Penn States and Michigan and Ohio State. But the one thing that does worry me about this game is, to me, this could be a trap game for Michigan because you're coming off a big win over Ohio State, which is the game you've been basically focused on all season. And now you're going into a game where you're 16.5-point favorite. And so I'm afraid they could kind of maybe overlook Purdue. And then you know how that goes. That could cause them some trouble. But
yeah, absolutely.
I'm gonna go with Michigan to win the game. That is the one thing that worries me is sometimes you see a team have a big letdown after a real big win.
Yeah, and again, there's that hangover effect. Logan, do you see it like Gonzo said that Michigan could fall into that hangover with Purdue?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like obviously Michigan is going to win this ball game, but I feel like it might be a little bit closer than some people might think. They might pull away in the later into the game, but yeah, don't overlook Purdue. I mean, they're, like I said, solid program, and they're trying to play spoiler. I mean, they're trying to get the championship and also trying to knock out Michigan from that college football playoff potentially. So at least I do think that the Wolverines are going to get the win of this one, even with Blake Corum being out. I still think they're still a better team, and so yeah, I'll go with the Wolverines winning this one, but maybe not in such a dominant fashion as you might think.
Interesting. Okay. And then we got the last game, right? The last 8. We got the ACC championship game between number 9 Clemson at 10-2 versus North Carolina 23 at 9-3. And I'm definitely 100%. I know this will sound crazy, but I'm taking North Carolina over Clemson. And my 100% reason why is quarterback DJ Ukulele will be that team's downfall. I'm telling you, man. Hey, listen, man. Anytime I see Ukulele on the field, I'm good. I'll go the other direction, please. And I think he's going to be their downfall. And I think May, as a freshman, knowing that he's probably out of any kind of consideration for a Heisman, I think he wants to make a statement for next year, honestly. And I think, if he can get the ACC championship game over number 9 Clemson as a freshman, it's going to look really, really nice on his resume going into next year. So look for that. Look for DJ to be the downfall. And quite the opposite. I think Drake May for North Carolina is going to be the superhero and get that win. I think Clemson running back Shipley, if they are going to have a good chance at beating North Carolina, is going to have a big game, control the tempo, and give that offense and that defense a shot, because it ain't going to be Ukulele that's going to do it for them. I promise you that. UNC's defense could be their downfall as well. The run defense for UNC has to step up against Shipley in order for them. And again, they're going to have to also put pressure on Ukulele. But if they can put up that defensive pressure, I think that offense of North Carolina can do their business. Gonzo?
Yeah, I think North Carolina is going to win this game. Clemson just isn't consistent enough for me to back him in this game, and I think the X factor is going to be May. I think he's going to play better than Clemson's quarterback. So I have North Carolina winning the game. It's actually one of the picks I gave out on my sports betting show this afternoon.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, honestly, if I was going to go to, online and go bet in Vegas or go bet wherever, this is the game I'm betting on. I'm absolutely putting a lot of money on North Carolina as the incredible underdog at 23 versus 9. I don't know what the odds are there, but I bet it's pretty good betting odds. Logan?
Yeah, I'm rocking with the Tar Heels in this one. DJU, not Ukulele, but Jay, if his career doesn't work out in football, he can always go to that. I think it'd be a great sponsorship deal.
Well, how do you say his last name?
I believe it's Uyonglele.
Yeah, Ukulele. Let's go.
Hey, yeah. But yeah, he's just been too up and down, man. I mean, he had a lot of hype going into the year, but he's just been too inconsistent for my liking. I mean, some games he'll look great, and some games he won't do nothing. And I can't trust that in a championship ball game. I like Dabo Swinney. I think obviously he's a good coach, but I can't rock with him, man. So give me the Tar Heels for 500.
Yeah, like I said, this is the game I would honestly feel comfortable. This is the one long shot that I would feel comfortable putting a lot of money on and then sitting back and watching that flow of Quan come back. I'm telling you. All right. Hey, listen. So that's me, Gonzo, and Logan's viewpoint on the championship matchups for Friday and Saturday. Let's get into some NFL analysis. We got a lot of NFL coming up on Sunday and tonight. Again, tonight we start off with the Thursday night game with the Bills versus the Patriots. We know the Patriots currently are out of the wild card right now, but they're in the hunt looking in. They're going to have to move up ahead of the Jets in order to get that. I mean, they're like a half game out of that eighth spot to get in. So tonight, again, that's why I got tonight being such a huge game. Number one, not only is it a divisional rival, and you want to bring the Bills down a notch, because let's be honest, the Bills are half a game out of first right now. So you bring the Bills down a little bit, you bring yourself up a little bit. Probably if you get the win tonight and the Jets get the loss, then you're most likely going to move up and get into the playoff hunt. So right now they're literally on the cusp right now. And I also think this game has huge implications for the Buffalo Bills, not only to stay in competition to get to that first spot, but also in the OBJ talks. You think OBJ is going to go to the Bills if they take a loss to the Patriots tonight? Hell no. That's just going to further cement him going to the Dallas Cowboys or whatever team he thinks is out there. I think right now he's going to go to the Cowboys, but that's just my opinion. Gonzo, man, what are we thinking? What are we looking at?
I think the Bills win tonight.
Yeah.
I don't think the New England offense is going to be able to put up enough points to outscore this Buffalo offense. I think it could be. I mean, I think it might be a close game, but I do think the Bills win the game in the end.
Yeah, Logan, I really want the Patriots to win just for the latter part of that I mentioned. I think if they lose tonight, I think it's going to put them in pretty awkward shape to get OBJ, and I think it really increases Dallas's opportunity to snag him. But what's your thought process on tonight's game?
Yeah, I mean, well, let's face it, guys. The Bills haven't been super dominant the last handful of weeks. I mean, they barely got the win against the Lions, right, in a close bowl game there. They beat the Browns by about a touchdown, and then again they lost to the Vikings by 3. So it's not like they're the most dominant team here. And the Patriots, they're a scrappy team. They've got a good program, they've got a good team, and I think it's going to be a slugfest. But ultimately, I think Josh Allen's going to have a good bounce back game. I think that even though the Patriots have a solid defense, I think he's gonna. He obviously he's played this team enough. He knows the ins and outs. So I'll go with the Bills getting the win in this one. But watch out, though, because Von Miller is on the IR, I believe. So that defense is taking a little bit of a hit over there. But I still think that Buffalo gets the win tonight and a good ball game on Thursday.
Yeah, real quick while we're talking about the Bills, Von Miller said he thought he could make it back by tonight or next week. I mean, I think that's incredibly fast to try to rush an LCL, a lateral meniscus tear. But that's what his thought process. Do you think he's an idiot for trying to come back off that LCL or that lateral meniscus and not take more rest and let his body truly get back?
Oh, now he won't be back for the Jets game next week because they end up putting him on IR today. So he has to miss, I think, 3 or 4 weeks. So he's going to take more rest.
Honestly, that's the best thing they could have done for that man, because with that meniscus tear, why are you trying to hurry anything like that? Give yourself some time. You know what I mean? That's ridiculous to try to rush something like that. Yeah. So next I was going to talk about real quick before we get to the next game is Jackson leaves practice with the quad issue. It's the 3rd straight week on the injury report for this guy. Illness was so we had the quad, we had the hip injury, and now we have an illness. Or excuse me, we had the hip injury, then we had an illness. Now we have the quad. I had the reverse order. So we had hip, illness, and now we got a quad issue. So my thing is this, and then we also have him using an anti-gay slur to a ref, or excuse me, in reference to a reporter via tweet after the Jags game. So not only is he hurting himself physically, but he's also kind of hurting his image using an anti-case in reference to a reporter after the Jags game. I mean, this guy just he like Antonio Brown, just digging himself in a hole, especially when you're a damn contract year. Hello? God, what are we doing? So my question is this to each one of you guys. I said this before and I'll say it again. The dude's only on a damn franchise tag. I think Gonzo was right earlier when he said, I think Roquan will probably get the Quan this semester or this season. I think they're probably going to wait and deal with Jackson at the end of his second franchise tag. But let me ask you this. This dude this season alone has already had 3 times on the injury report. What does this look like for him going forward, trying to get that Quan? Because how much can a body take before you're just really screwed up? Logan?
Yeah, I mean, you don't like to see these kind of lingering injuries late in the season. I mean, it on the bright side, it is not taking him out of games, at least as far as we know for this one. We're not sure. But hopefully he can, he can heal up and be fine. But, I don't think it's going to affect the payment he's going to get with this, as long as it's not nothing serious, as long as it's not like a major ACL injury, it's not like that. I think he'll be fine. But yeah, it's not a welcome sight, but I'm glad he's not missing games because, I mean, God,
Right.
that would be a substantial hurting his wallet also. But yeah, I mean, you don't like to see it, but at this point in the season, we're going on the later end. I'm not too surprised. We are seeing guys get hurt more and more just with wear and tear, but I think he'll be fine, and hopefully he has some good health the rest of the year.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess Gonzo, to everything that Logan just said, which I agree with. I guess my point is, when you have all these smaller injuries like quads, hips, things like that, things that are all connected to the lower body, which is all connected to him running the ball so much, will those little injuries eventually amount to something big that could potentially hinder him?
Yeah, I mean, it could, but I think since he practiced today, they said he was limited yesterday, but he was a full participant today. I think he'll play and he'll be all right. But it is something you got to watch because little nagging injuries can turn into a big injury pretty quickly if you're not careful. But you would hope that the training staff and stuff are not putting him in a situation where they think he could go out there and get hurt. If they thought it was more serious, you would hope that they would hold him out a week or whatever it took to make sure he was healthy for maybe an end of season run.
Yeah.
But I didn't even see when did you mentioned some kind of slur that he done? When did he do that? He do that.
That was right at literally it was like in transit right when they were after they beat or they lost to the Jags. Then he made that tweet to the reporter. The reporter basically gave him
a tweet.
Yeah, it was in tweet form. Yeah. The reporter basically says some probably not kind things to Lamar, and Lamar just
I see that. Okay, I see here that it said that Harbaugh met with Lamar Jackson out.
Of course he met with him. He's like, "What are you thinking?"
Tweet.
Yeah, of course he met with him. He had to meet with him. He's like, "Dude, what are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing tweeting this crap?"
Yeah, I sent the tweet over in the private chat so you can read it, Chris.
What a time to be alive, man. What a time to be alive. But again, like I guess when I think about this dude, Lamar Jackson, I always think of Friday Night Lights. When that needle was about to go under the knee and Billy Bob come in there and said, "Hey, you put that knee anywhere it is knee, and I'm gonna rip your face off." I just remember Billy Bob Thornton with that. And I just think of Lamar from getting them shots, man. What a time. We all need a Billy Bob in our life. Next game. Hey, Steelers, Falcons. I put this in there specifically, and there's a lot of games that I put in, and the only reason I put these games in there is just because the gravity that it has towards the wild card / divisional, whatever. So, Falcons and Tampa are in a fight for the quote unquote, NFC South divisional title, because God knows whoever loses ain't going to the wild card. So you either get the division or you just go home and stay home. So for the Falcons and the Tampa Bay Bucks, it's pretty much neck and neck all the way to the playoffs. Steelers, Falcons. Again, I got Falcons. I think Falcons are going to gear up for this game over the Steelers. Gonzo, I know you kind of had some flashbacks to that Steelers-Colts game, but what's your thought process on Steelers and Falcons?
Actually, it was one of the picks I gave out today. I like the Falcons to beat the Steelers. I think the Falcons offense will be able to put up some points, and I think they'll kind of be able to outscore that Steelers offense. So I'm gonna go with the Falcons in this game.
Logan, who you got, Falcons or Steelers, brother?
I got the Falcons. I think it's going to be a little bit of an issue on offense, though, because we know Kyle Pitts is now done for the season, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's right.
So, and I mean, Falcons are a scrappy team. They're going to need Mariota to have a good ball game. And I'll take him over Kenny Pickett just with, based off his veteran leadership in a tight game because, I mean, my God, who would have thought the Falcons be competing for the NFC South at this week?
Yeah, I just saw, I only caught part of the quote from Martin Jackson, but what a time. Hey, all I can say is what a time to be alive. What a time to be alive. Did somebody say Lamar needs a PR person? Yeah, Lamar needs a PR person. Jets, Vikings. I put this in there just because hey, listen, everything about the AFC East is a dogfight right now. From the Jets to the Bills, Miami, down to the bottom where Pats are tonight with the Pats and the Bills. I mean, everything right now is a damn dogfight. So that's why this is specifically in there. I think Mike White, in my opinion, I think the Jets could probably get the game tonight. I think if Mike White does what Mike White's supposed to, and if Michael Carter can get back on the damn field, I think this will be the first test to see really if Mike White is your guy. Because if he can get the win tonight and then the Bills take a loss, now we're looking at, the Jets being in so, demand of second place. And again, it's a big test to see if Mike White is really your guy or if the other game was just a fluke. But Gonzo, what are you thinking, brother?
I think it's going to be a close game, but I'm going to go with the Vikings. I think the Vikings will be able to put up some points. Jets defense is tough, but I'm basically going to trust Kirk Cousins over Mike White, and I'm going to go with the Vikings in this game. And plus, this game is it's a 1 o'clock afternoon start, if I remember correctly. And
I believe it is.
Pretty good at 1 o'clock.
Carter had the 1 o'clock one. So you're right. It's an early game. All right.
Yeah,
So who you got, Logan? If from what I understand, if the Jets win, Gonzo's going to give me a fifth. Man, are we making the same deal?
I think for Zach Wilson's just sanity, I hope Mike White. He wants Mike White to throw about 4 interceptions and 10 yards.
Yeah,
but
he does.
But I think the Jets made a good call though. Obviously we see how well it worked out last week, but like Chris said, we do have the second coming of Joe Montana on Sunday afternoon ball games with Kirk Cousins this season. So.
Right.
I'll go with the Vikings because they've been red hot all year pretty much. They got a great team. I see them locking things up here. But I do think the Jets are going to have a good solid game. I don't think they're going to be a pushover. Because they've been a really good surprise this year for all of us. And I think, especially with now that I think they've got the right quarterback in play. And, like you said, with Carter hopefully coming back soon and they got a solid defense that they can get things, turned around for the years to come. But for now, I got the Vikings get the win in this one.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, the next game really doesn't have a whole lot of weight to me. It is the Giants and the Commanders, and it will be the battle for third place. But truthfully, even if the Commanders were to lose and go to 7-6, and then the Seattle went to, and I think Seattle's in the 8th spot, and Washington is in the 7th spot, and I think that's 3. So you got to get to 7. So right now, Washington at the NFC East is in the last spot, the last wild card spot currently, and they're about 1 game right now up on Seattle. So I guess it's a little bit pivotal, but not truly pivotal. But I think this is more pivotal for the Commanders to win than it is necessarily for the Giants to win. If the Giants were to lose this game, they're still in the wild card business. They're not out of the playoffs. But if the Commanders, then that could slip them back one. So that's a lot to look at there. What's your thought process on this game? I think the Commanders, though, can win this. I think they got all the spots they need, right? They got the quarterback, they got the running back, and they have the wide receiver. And if Chase Young can make it back this game, was Chase Young and did they hold him out against the Houston game? Or did he
didn't
play
last week? He didn't play last week because of an illness, but he's supposed to play this week.
Right. So I think if you have Chase Young on that defense, putting the pressure, number one, on Daniel Jones, or number two, even on Saquon in that run game, I'm looking for the Commanders to pull this game out. Who do you got, Gonzo?
I like Washington in this game. They've won 7 or 6 of their last 7 games. They've really been on a roll, especially since Heineke has came in. I think it's going to be a close game because you do got a pretty good defense over there with the Giants, and they're a scrappy team. I think it's basically going to come down to which defense can stop the run, because you can't, if you're the Commanders, you can't let Saquon Barkley run all over you, because you know that's mainly about all of the Giants' offense, because they're pretty thin at receiver. But I like the weapons that Washington has. I like that Chase Young's coming back, so I'm gonna go with Washington to keep some momentum going.
Yeah, absolutely. Logan, do you feel the same way?
I'm kind of feeling the Giants in this one. I think that Coach Dable.
Hey, we don't use the word "feel." That's too controversial. Pick another word.
I believe
there you go. Much better.
I believe that I believe that the Giants will pull this one out. Mostly just because, man, I still got mixed feelings over what Washington did with that Sean Taylor statue. So I still can't get over that, man. So I'll give it the Giants of this one.
I agree, and I really do believe.
I use that loose.
I was going to say, don't even call it a statue.
No, that was a mannequin
a water coat hanger with clothes on it. But I think when Bezos
made that.
Trust me.
We could have.
I just think that when Bezos gets that team, I think he'll do right by Sean Taylor and get rid of that BS. I really believe Bezos is a really class act kind of guy, and I think he will fix that.
Hey,
and the worst part is, Jay, that's the second year in the row.
Hey, if you want a wire mannequin, if you want a wire mannequin, just call us. We can make you one a hell of a lot cheaper than whatever you paid for that.
Yeah.
Hey, no shameless plugs right now, damn it. I'm on a time clock. You know what's off. Look, can Henry break the Eagles' run defense? God, I hope so. Because he is on my fantasy team. So I really hope he can. I really think that's kind of one of the weaknesses. And I know, guys, I think me and you talked about it. I think that's one of the weaknesses in that Phillies team is that run defense. I think if they give the ball a heavy dose of the ball to Henry and allow that to keep the defense honest, then I think they can find Burks, because Burks is really, he's really been coming on. I think they find Burks a lot. I think they probably find Woods a lot and so forth. But they really got to give that rock a lot to Henry to keep that Eagles defense honest. What are you thinking, Gonzo? Can he break that defense, or do you think they contain Henry?
No, I think Tennessee has a good chance of winning this game against the Eagles. We've seen kind of the blueprint to beat the Eagles. We saw what the Commanders done, able to control the ball, keep that Eagles offense on the sideline. Even the Colts has some success doing that as well. The Titans have a pretty good they have a good, real solid defense. If they can get Derrick Henry going, I think it's going to be a real close game. And I give the Titans a good chance of beating the Eagles this weekend.
Oh, Billy Buzz Smith! I knew I loved you. I don't even know who you are, but I love him, Jerry. Jerry, I love him. He's a Cowboys guy.
He said you had me at hello.
All I can think of is watching Jerry Springer back in the day when they asked him, "Hey, why are you still with her?" Or "Why are you still with her?" And that little scrawny kid said, "But I love her, Jerry. I love her." I love it. What a good time, man. Let's move on. Oh no, Logan. I'm sorry, Logan. I apologize.
Oh no, you good.
I go squirrel sometimes. You got to rein me back in. But Henry, man. Hey.
Yeah.
What are you thinking, man? What are we looking at here?
Yeah, I think he has a good game. I think that he's kind of due for it. And I think that if he can show for your fantasy team's sake, and also just to the NFL to show, hey, this is still my yard. I'm still the top guy here. He can do it against this Eagles defense, which for the most part look pretty dominant. I think that'd be a big statement. So give me the Titans.
Absolutely, absolutely. And again, I'm rooting for the Tennessee Titans too. Like I said, I'm rooting for them on a fantasy league status point, but I'm also wanting the Eagles to take a hit, and that way, it gets us one game closer to maybe tying up the division. Because you got to remember, we still got to play the Eagles one more time, baby. So if they can lose one game, if the Titans or somebody could pull off that Memphis miracle and get these cats, then when the Cowboys play them, it will be a split tiebreaker. And what a time to be alive, man. What a time to be alive. Okay. Hey, let's get on to this Ravens-Broncos real quick. The reason why I feel like this is an important game, because, again, Bengals are right there with the Ravens. I mean, they're like neck and neck. I think the Ravens should – and, again, we don't know what that quad injury is going to mean for Lamar Jackson. We don't know if we're getting Lamar Jackson. We don't know if we're getting Tyler Huntley. And even if we get Lamar Jackson, we don't know what strength we're getting Lamar. So my question to you is, and this, like I said, this is a big game, is can an injury-riddled Lamar still beat the Broncos, or even if Tyler Huntley comes in? I think I'm on the fence on this one. I think with the injured Lamar, or a less than 50 or less than 70% Lamar, I think the Broncos got a shot. What do you think, Gonzo?
I think this is going to be a low scoring game. I'm going to go with the Ravens to pull it out just because I don't trust the Broncos offense. I don't know if the Broncos offense can score a touchdown if they were the only team on the field, the way they've been looking. But I think this is going to be a low scoring game because of the Broncos defense. But I think the Ravens. Yeah. I think the Ravens pull it out just because they have a little bit better offense than what the Broncos do.
Yeah, and again, I understand your viewpoints on that as well. I mean, Logan, you heard what Gonzo, how he thought about it. You kind of heard what I was saying, with Lamar and that jacked up quad or whatever. Dobbins is out. I mean, if Lamar is not effectively running, what are they going to do? Or how do you see this playing out?
If Lamar's hurt, I expect a heavy dose of Justin Tucker, a tremendous kicker. Because, that dude can hit 60-yarders like it's nothing. But nah, for this one, Broncos country, let's ride to 3-9. They're taking a loss in this one. That team's just, Jesus, that is awful. I feel whoever negotiated that Russell Wilson deal needs to be checked on right now.
I will say, dude. Hey, listen, Hackett's probably on the hot seat. Wilson's on the hot seat.
I'll say this: if the Broncos offense don't play better, there might be some defensive guys ready to fight Wilson.
Oh yeah, I mean we're seeing that every week now.
Yep. You might.
There's a lot of issues on that team.
Hey, anybody ever seen Big Bang Theory when they're in there playing Dungeons and Dragons and old boy says, "You're playing dead. You're playing dead." Hey, all I can think of is that. Hey, is that like that theory or that process when the ownership group pulls Hackett into the room and pulls Wilson into the room and pulls the offensive coordinator in the room, and then he just goes around saying that you're fired, you're fired, you're fired. The whole room is fired.
That Big Bang Theory, this was hilarious.
They need to light that whole damn room on fire and run out the door. But yeah, man, it is what it is. Real quick, next game is pivotal and controversial and all kinds of things in between. Because now we got the Browns and the Texans, and Watson makes his grandiose debut in the NFL and grandiose homecoming to the city of Houston, where he will display his wonderful talents to the whole wide world and hopefully avoid the massage parlors. What a time to be alive. So my question to you is, who gets the win here, number one? But before you answer, actually, I got two questions. No, I'm going to say that for final thoughts. Nope, save it for final thoughts. My only question is, who gets the win, and how do you think it's going to be received for Brown when he gets there? Logan? Or, excuse me, Gonzo, I mean. Sorry, Logan.
Wait a minute. You said who wins the game, and how does Brown and how does
Who wins the game, and how do you think he gets received?
I think there's going to be a lot of booing in Tech when he comes out of that tunnel. He's back in Houston, the team that he demanded a trade from, and that's not even counting all the other shit that's went on with the Watson. I mean, everybody knows everything that's been going on with the court, civil cases and all that. I do think you're going to get a lot of boos. I think the Browns win this game, but I think it's going to be a close game. The Browns are 7-point favorites, and I actually have the Texans covering the spread. I think it'll be within 7 points, but I do think the Browns get the game just because. I mean, they're just a better team than the Texans.
Yeah, absolutely. And Logan, Anthony Price says you're a Raiders fan, right? Anthony Price, I'll answer that for him. Of course, he's a Raiders fan. Dude, been a Raiders fan since day one. I've ever met the kid. Matter of fact, when he craps, it literally raids out of his body. That's how much a Raiders fan this dude is. I'm telling you.
Now Anthony has asked you to block David. Yesterday was saying don't block David. Now he's saying block him. I love it.
Hey, I'm sorry, man. Hey, sometimes you got to do what the audience asks for. Again, Billy Buzz Smith, he says, somehow I think the Browns pull it out. Yeah, I think the Browns, I think they will find a way to pull it out. Logan, what's your thoughts, man?
Yeah, I mean, I expect a heavy course of boos for Deshaun, just with everything that's transpired from requesting a trade to all the allegations, the trials. Plus, I think they said, 10 little women are going to actually be there in the stadium. It also wouldn't surprise me if we see a couple people maybe try and run on the field, or we see something wild happen. So that would not surprise me one bit. But overall, I'm going to get the Browns win this one. I think he has a good game. I'm sure if he throws a pick, that place is going to go wild. But I'll go with the Browns on this one, man. I don't know. I can't trust the Texans.
Yeah, no. I'm right there. I just think it's going to be interesting. Like Gonzo said earlier, I don't know why these women think they're protesting when they're set up in the lap of luxury in a box that nobody can even give a damn or see them. I think they're doing what they do. Crazy enough as it is, because if they're really truly on fire to make a point, they'll be down there on the sidewalk in front of the ticket sales with signs that says, "Don't buy ticket sales. We're blocking Deshaun Watson." I mean, they would do something more grandiose. Come on. Get off the couch. And then Anthony Price says, I just asked because the Raiders paid for a tight end to sit on the bench. Yeah, they kind of did, Logan. They kind of did. Any thought process on that, Logan, about paying your tight end to sit on the bench?
I mean, and he's hurt, right? And I mean, he's
I'm sorry. Yeah, I should have said, hey, which one are you talking about? If you're talking about Waller's on the IR. So
yeah, I'm about to say, what do you mean Waller's hurt? I mean, it's not like they benched him. He's hurt.
Who's the other tight end? It's Moreau, right? Moreau.
Yeah, but I mean, he's a backup for a reason.
Right.
I don't know.
Again, hey, real quick, just because of the 49ers and the Seahawks being so close together, that's why I put this game in there. So the Seahawks, what is it? What am I writing sometimes? Gino needs a big game over the injury-filled Rams. That's what I was putting on there. Okay, so the Seahawks are playing the Rams. You got to imagine, I mean, they should get the win. I mean, how do you see that game playing out? Do you think the Rams have a chance, or because the Seahawks certainly can't lose a game, and I don't see the Rams beating the Seahawks. I just put that in there just because of them being within that's what I meant to put on there, half a game of the 49ers for that divisional lead.
I think the Seahawks win the game, but it could be a closer game than what people think of, just because of the it's a division game, and you know how division games can be. Even if a team's struggling, a lot of times them division games can be close games. But I'll go with Seattle to pull out the victory.
Yeah. Logan, I asked that question because we're going to talk about the next game here in a sec, but Miami going to play the 49ers this week. So that's going to be an incredibly huge game as well. To my point, where I think Miami beats the Niners, and I think that's why I put the Seahawks on here, is because they're very, very close right now. They're literally like neck and neck with the Niners for that divisional lead. And let's be honest, the Rams are a little bit easier an opponent right now because of injuries to play. So they should get the win, which moves them up. And if the 49ers don't do their job against Miami tonight, they could be well taking the back seat to Seattle at this point. So how do you see the Rams playing Seattle and vice versa?
Yeah, the Rams are banged up, man. I mean, got half their teams on the rosters on the IR. It feels like Stafford's been hurt the whole season, pretty much. He hasn't looked right. I mean, Kupp's hurt. I mean, you name it, and there is not a single healthy soul on that squad. It looks like. That's why they struggled this year. So I'll go with the Seahawks getting the win. They're the healthier team, and they've surprised everyone here. So I'll go with Seattle and get the W.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I'm right there with you. I think Seattle gets the W. I do believe he's really hurt because if he's not, then they're really paying a lot of money for a man to just sit on the bench.
That makes sense.
Miami 49ers. Look, guys, this is the next big game, right, man? I personally think the Miami can take the 49ers. I think a lot. Logan, I know you got to take off. You got work in the morning, don't you?
Yeah, I'm about to head out. Appreciate coming on, fellas. Also, I want to go check out our TikTok page at Unscripted Sports. We got a video, Jay. It's coming out tomorrow officially. Been working on it. Yeah, we've compiled a list here of the top 5 for Jay. I asked him the top 5 most disappointing Cowboys of all time. So check that out tomorrow. We'll put it on all of our socials. But guys, have a good night, and I will talk to y'all on the next show.
Absolutely. Again, happy birthday, brother.
Yes, sir. Thank you, guys. Thank y'all.
All right, man. Hey, again, man, like Logan said, check us out on TikTok under Unscripted Sports. I think starting tomorrow, we'll start putting up some videos out there on TikTok, just various different things for you guys to check out. So, again, Miami playing 49ers. Wow, man. Honestly, I think Tua goes out there. I think 49ers defense is going to have their hands full with Tyreek and keep it up with him, as well as keep it up with Waddle and keep it up with Gesicki, and then Chase Edmonds and so forth. So, I mean, Miami, I'll tell you what, if Miami really thinks they're the big dog of the AFC East, this is probably one of those games that you got to really go out and handle your business and show the world that, hey, Miami is the real deal. And that I know they may think Buffalo's the real deal, but hey, don't discount Miami. This is one of those kind of games, Miami, that you got to win to really start making your statement for why people should take you seriously. And again, the 49ers on the flip side, if you want to hang on to first, you do got to take a pretty talented group over there in Miami. Gonzo, man, what you think about this Miami 49ers, brother?
I think it's going to be an entertaining game. I like the 49ers to win the game. I think this 49ers defense they're a tough defense. So don't get me wrong, Miami Dolphins has a tough offense as well. So it's going to be a battle between them on them two sides of the ball. And then San Francisco has a lot of weapons on offense as well. But I like the 49ers in this game, but I do think this has potential to be maybe the best game of the week.
Yeah, absolutely. You're not going to get any. Yeah, I think Miami game is a big game of the week. I think Bengals Chiefs game is a big game of the week. Excuse me. And I think this Thursday night game is a big game of the week. And I don't want to discount the Jets and Vikings because that could be an upset that really could, spur a lot of craziness. I mean, there's a lot. I mean, like I said, this whole day of football, quite honestly, Thursday and Sunday, it's just going to be incredibly filled. Let's move on real quick. Last game that we're going to talk about is the Bengals and Chiefs. And I'm talking about this game not only because of the implications for the Bengals and the Ravens, but because of this is the Jamar Chase reemergence back in the league off that injury. So now with Jamar Chase back, what does that do for the Bengals? I think the Bengals can pull the upset over the Chiefs. I think Jamar Chase is battle tested, ready to go. And I think they're ready to prove something with Mixon in the backfield. So I'm going to go Bengals this game because I think that Jamar Chase, Jamar Chase, or the fact of the matter with the Chiefs is that secondary. And I think Jamar Chase and T. Higgins can really do a number on that Chiefs secondary. And I think that's absolutely the key for the Bengals to get the win. What do you think, Gonzo?
I think this is going to be another great game.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Sorry,
I agree with that. I agree with that. He goes 4 touchdowns against,
No, I think it's going to be another great game. This is a rematch of last year's AFC Championship game, where in the first half it looked like Kansas City was going to run away with it, and then Cincinnati made some good adjustments and came out in the second half and took control of that game. I think I'm with you. I think Cincinnati. I'm going to go with Cincinnati in this game. I think they found something on the defensive end where they can play. They'll play 3 linemen and drop guys out back in coverage, and it caused trouble for that Kansas City offense. And this year, you don't have to worry about Tyreek Hill like you did last year. And then, so I like Cincinnati in this game. Like you said, they're getting a big boost, getting Chase back on the offensive side of the ball. T. Higgins has really stepped up in Chase's absence. So now you got to worry about both them guys really. So I think it's going to be a great game, but I'm going to go with the Bengals to pull out probably a close victory.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, of course, you got the Monday night game, which is, again, no slouch game because you got the Saints versus the Bucks. And again, this is the other side of the equation of the Falcons. If the Falcons win against the Steelers and the Bucks lose to the Saints, now you get a divisional switch. And could you imagine for the first time if Bucks were not in the playoff hunt and what that would mean for Tom? I mean, how crazy is that? But in theory, it can happen. Again, they need a win to hold on to it. You know what? I'm not going to bet against Tom. I every time I go against Tom, I usually regret it. I'm going to stay with Tom on this one, and that they hold the Saints off and keep that divisional lead. Gonzo, what are you thinking, brother? What are we looking at?
I'm gonna go with the Bucks. I know that Tom Brady, since he's been in Tampa, has struggled against the Saints in the regular season, but this is a different Saints team. That you have Andy Dalton playing quarterback. You don't have Drew Brees playing quarterback no more. You don't have Sean Payton on the sideline anymore. I think the Bucks pull out a victory in this game. And like you said, I'm not going to bet against Tom Brady with Andy Dalton on the other sideline. But
I'm not against the Saints anyway. Huh?
You did skip a game, big Sunday night game where the Colts are going to beat the Cowboys.
I didn't really put that game in there because it really wasn't a whole lot of relevance. But if you want to put it in there, I just thought if I put the picture of the Cowboys on there, that just said all you needed to know. But I mean, hey, look, man, if you want to go through the pain of talking about the Cowboys and Colts, I mean, we can go through the pain of it. And I'm gonna take the Cowboys, and I'll even give you a 7-point spread. You want to entertain that?
The spread's actually 10.5.
Listen, this is Jay's spread. I'm not Caesar. Do I look like Caesar? Do I act like Caesar?
Hey, I'm looking forward to that Sunday night game, though. It's gonna be a fun time.
Gonzo, can you tell everybody? Hey, since we're on that subject matter, just tell everybody where they can catch me and you Sunday night.
Sunday night, you'll be able to find us actually on Gonzo Sports Room, on Unscripted, and on the All Sports All Plays Network. We'll be on all 3 channels. YouTube,
all
Facebook,
3, baby.
Twitch,
all 3,
all that. Oh, come on, Billy.
Billy Buzz says Dallas by 13. Hey,
he's a Cowboys fan too.
Hey, listen, I have learned with the Cowboys in my many decades of trials and tribulations of things that I learned it this year. I really came to the realization this year. I no longer comment left, right, or up or down. Because I feel like when I comment on something like that or in a positive way with the Cowboys, that I never get what I want. So when I just keep my mouth shut on it, and if they're going to win or lose, it usually turns out better. So I'm just enjoying the moment.
Honestly, I do think it's going to be a better game than what people think. I really do.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, can the Dallas defense contain Jonathan Taylor? I mean, honestly, I guess we'll find out what they're. And again, will the Colts actually use Jonathan Taylor like they're supposed to use Jonathan Taylor? I guess we'll find out.
It's always a question.
A whole lot of Cowboys fans out of nowhere. You know, Anthony Price, hey, listen, man, it's okay. I'll take them all. I love it. I love Cowboy fans. I don't care if you're new or old, man. Look, I've been with the Cowboys since 1976, and I'll take any one of you that want to come on over to the bandwagon. It's all good. Hey, next topic. We'll get this thing rolling because we got the game getting ready. Come on, and we're going to talk a little actually, I take that back. I'm out of order. We're going to talk about the FIFA. We have to do a female topic, and this is the one that stood out, obviously, for obvious reason. FIFA names first ever all-female referee team at the Men's World Cup match. And that match was earlier today that featured Costa Rica versus Germany. And I did not catch the win on that. I think it was Germany that got the win, or am I wrong? Did Costa Rica get it?
I'm not 100% sure.
I think it was Germany. I think Germany got the win. I thought it was 4-2. But then I read somewhere where it said Germany was ousted. So I don't know if I read that right or read that wrong. Well, you look it up real quick while I just give a quick brief down this, and then we can talk on that. So while I'm doing that, you look that up real fast. The three women that are going to represent the referees are Stephanie Frapport, which is your captain or your leader of the crew, and she's from France. You also have Nuzit Black, Nuzit Back, who is from Brazil. And then you have Karen Diaz, the third referee, and she is from Mexico, that refereed the Costa Rica-Germany game earlier today. Last week, there was actually a couple of other historical moments. Germans won. I thought it was 4-2. I just wasn't 100% that I read that right. He said, hey, Billy Buzz Smith, I got you by 1 year. So, but hey, I'm glad you've been with them as long as I have. So good deal, man. Good deal. 4-2. Yeah, Germans
Patriots
won.
getting the ball. Patriots getting the ball first.
Yeah, I've seen that. So it's 2nd and 8, 14 plus. Oh, they're wearing the throwback unis. Damn, I haven't seen that uniform. God. And that bless America, that brings back a lot of memories. Real quick. So that was one of the first big things about the World Cup, the all-female ref crew to do a men's World Cup match. The second big astonishment was last week, Jude Bellingham became the first player born in the 21st century to score a goal at World Cup. And also the tournament features a pair of bona fide siblings that will face each other. Iniki Williams, who represents the Ghana, and his younger brother, Nico Williams, who represents Spain. Obviously, his dad is from Ghana, his mother from Spain. And so that's how the younger and older brother split it up to represent the two countries. How crazy is that? Wow, what a time. Gonzo, so again, there's three topics to talk. Number one is the all-female crew at the World Cup. Number two is the first guy born in the 21st century gets a goal at the World Cup. And then you got siblings for two different countries going at it in the first time ever in the World Cup. How crazy.
Oh, yeah, it is crazy. That'd be crazy for the family. I mean, it's good to see that they had all female referee team in a big stage like that. That's pretty cool.
Right.
We like I said, I don't watch a whole lot of soccer, but I have watched some of this World Cup. But we had the stat guy on that afternoon show earlier, and he's a big soccer fan. And he said this has been one of the best World Cups that in a long time. So it sounds like it's been a great event so far.
Yeah, and again, from what I know about the World Cup, honestly, I don't even think you could get into that end of the straw. But again, it's amazing, right? But according to Stat Guy, he says that this U.S. team is actually underperforming. He says that we should have beaten Iran by much more. He also said that, England is like the Cowboys. I like how he broke soccer down into football, because once he started saying England is like the Cowboys and Brazil is like, the New England Patriots from back in the day when Bill Belichick was there. Or Bill Belichick and Tom Brady were there. I like how he broke it down because then I kind of understood, okay, now I can visualize, this team is this good or this team is that good. So sometimes, hey, when you watch American football, for those that play soccer, you got to break it down American style of football to us, and then we can relate better to it. I'm just saying, please help a brother out. Yeah, so we'll move on real quick to the next topic, which is Ronaldo offered $360 million by the Saudis. Again, I know we kind of talked about that earlier. They really kind of look at Ronaldo as like, the quote-unquote ambassador for the sport. Even after he retires, they really want him to be the ambassador for Saudi, try to get more people to come and play in Saudi, things of that nature. And I told you, I said, listen, and that guy said, well, they only got like 17 teams. That's fine because that means you're really going to fight your ass off to go play for one of those Saudi teams because you're probably going to get paid pretty damn well. If you look what Ronaldo got. Now, I understand it's Ronaldo, but still, it's going to be interesting to see if they do the ambassador. They want more people to come over and play in Saudi, where, like Justice said, it's not exactly a desirable place to play. Then they're going to have to give out that money to make it look desirable. But what is your thought process on Ronaldo going to the Saudis for 360? It says 360 mil. I think it's 360 mil over 10 years is what I got out of the article when I read on it, what they were saying that he was getting. So what is your thought process on Ronaldo getting all this money playing for the Saudis? And what does it mean for Saudi Arabia, the country of Saudi Arabia, in terms of soccer? Do we start taking them more serious now that Ronaldo's going over there and possibly others?
Yeah, I think if they get Ronaldo over there, it could really help them maybe start getting some more of the better players to go over there in Saudi to play. So I do think it's a big move for Saudi to try to get this done. It's going to be interesting to see if any of these other teams offer this kind of money to try to keep Ronaldo from going over there.
Right.
No, I think if you're an organization and you're trying to really build up your organization and trying to attract more people, what better way than to get one of the best players over there to try to start filtering more players over there. So I think it's a smart move by the Saudis. It's just going to be interesting to see if somebody outbids them to keep Ronaldo from getting over there.
Yeah, and another big thing that they were trying to use Ronaldo for was that they were really trying to have him. When I say that being ambassador for Saudi, is they really want him and bringing him in over to try to get that 2030 World Cup. So, number one, they're trying to get World Cup. They're trying to get more players. They're trying to do all these things. And I think they look at a guy like Ronaldo as somebody that can help them, get closer to make that happen. And let's be honest, Ronaldo don't have a lot of time left in golf or in soccer. He's 37 years old, for crying out loud. How long do you expect him to run around that damn soccer field and play the way he plays at 30 when he's 37 going against 20-year-old somethings? At some point, doesn't your body just slow the hell down? I don't know. Maybe it doesn't because I guess Terrell Owens just ran a 4.4 40, and he's God knows how old now. So I don't know. Maybe it's genetics.
Yep.
Crazy time. All right, man. We're going to get on and roll it on through to the NBA. Luka. Is this his NBA MVP to lose? Now, in case you don't know, I look up all these words to make sure I wasn't putting nothing crazy in there in Spanish, but I like it. I like what it said. Oh, no, go back, guy. Go back. Thank you. I like what it says. And let me get that thing off so I can read it properly. It says, Camino hacia el MVP, which means the road. Basically what it's saying is the road to the MVP flows through me. That's what that means in Spanish, basically. Go look it up. It took me about 10 minutes to look that up. But yeah, and I really think the road to the MVP does flow through Luka. Now, a lot of people are going to tell you, no, J.F. flows through Giannis. No, J.F. flows through Embiid. No, J.F. flows through – because for whatever reason, nobody wants to give Luka any kind of serious respect. But the son of a gun has put up 40, 12, and 12 against the Warriors a couple of nights back, going 14-27. Luka has done 40-point triple-doubles 3 times this season. Gonzo, let me ask you a question. What other NBA player has put up 40 points as a triple-double, even one time, outside of Luka?
Don't know.
That many times. 0. Dallas is on a 10-10. They're in the number 11 spot. Luka is your NBA leading scorer. Quite honestly, he is everything. I mean, he is the Dallas Mavericks. He's damn near almost all 5 positions. What more does Luka got to do? Are you going to tell me that you don't want to give Luka the MVP? Quite honestly, because his team is 500, right at 500, and he's in the 11th spot, and he's not in the play-in. So because he's not in the play-in, quote-unquote, we're not going to give it to him? Well, that's just flat-out stupid. Because Luka is everything that is the Dallas Mavericks. Everything. Now, they did bring in Kemba Walker to kind of take a little of the load off of Luka. But still, come on, man. It's got to be time to recognize this young man. It's got to be time to give him his just deserts. It's got to be time to stop hating on him and stop going with the popular choice and go with the real choice. I don't know. I mean, I see what Joker's done too. I don't want to discount Joker and what he meant to or what he means to Denver, but I think we got to stop looking or overlooking Luka and give Luka his props. What do you think, Gonzo?
Oh no, in my opinion, I think Luka should be the front runner. But if you look at the odds, they have Jason Tatum as the front runner for MVP right now.
Stupid, just stupid.
And basically, it's because his team has the best record. No, I think Luka's making the case that he's the best player in the league right now. The way he's been playing, I think he should be the front runner. But yeah, right now they had him at either second or third. I think they might even had Booker in front of him, if I remember correctly. Well, I know they had Jason Tatum ahead of him.
I mean, this Luka could literally go out there and give you 1,000,000 points, 1,000 rebounds, 1,000 assists, and they'll still give it to Booker or Tatum or whatever they want to do. It's just ridiculous. Like, no matter how well you play, no matter how hard you go out there, they don't look at you as being valuable. But how are you not valuable? Makes no sense to me. But I'm just a layman. But yeah, it is what it is. Hey, it's the world we live in. Last topic of the night, gentlemen and ladies, if you're out there. We're going to talk Phillies emerging for the top prospect, Trey Turner, trying to get his services over to their team. The guy played phenomenal, man. When you look at his slash line from 22 or this year, average was 298. On base percentage was around on base percentage was 343, slugging and on base percentage was on 466. Just stupid. He had 27 stolen bases in 160 games, 31.6 WAR. I mean, the guy just plays phenomenal baseball. 29 years old, so he's still young. Says he's an East Coast guy. And again, I think if Trey Turner comes over to the Phillies, I think you're looking at a shift of balance of power in the National League to the point where I think, the Phillies, you got to think, are the number one team or could be the number one team in the National League. The National League. I don't know. I might be crossing football over. I'm sorry. National League power to where you have a batting order, top 3 batting order of Trey Turner, Schwarber, and Hoskins, and then when you get Bryce Harper back on the All-Star break, you slide him into the DH spot, and then you got Harper, and then you got every other person behind that. I mean, the Phillies are just stacked. I still think, and I still believe, though, that the Phillies' weakness, which they have not addressed, which is really crazy to me, but they haven't addressed it as of yet, is that back end of the reliever rotation, which clearly hurt them big time. And if you don't believe me, go look at those Alvarado clips that Houston destroyed you on, and yet you haven't addressed your relievers. And the fact that you haven't addressed your relievers and the fact that the Yankees really haven't done diddly squat. Matter of fact, nobody in the league has done diddly squat. Just kind of tells me that I'm ready for another Astros World Series, quite honestly. Unless something just miraculously comes together, I don't think there's a team out there that can touch the Astros. Not one. But that's just my opinion. Gonzo, Trey Turner, Philadelphia Phillies, emerging top favorites, man. What are we looking at here?
It'd be a great pickup for the Phillies, especially to add with some of the other guys they already have offensively. But like you said, then they just have to shore up their pitching wise. But no, if you can get Trey Turner, that'd be a big move for the Phillies, a real big move. Right. And because like we talked about earlier, he's one of the best guys out of his position, if not the best. So it's going to be it's going to be interesting to see how he fits in there in Philly, especially when you get Bryce Harper back healthy, and with some of the other offensive players they already have. It really makes that batting order even a lot tougher to deal with.
Truthfully, I didn't think the batting order was that big of a deal for them. I really just thought it was that back end. If you go back and watch that World Series, and I swear to God, if you go back and watch the Atlanta Braves World Series win over the Astros, it's almost identical. We had no answer in our bullpen when we went up against the Braves, and we just got our asses handed to us. It just happened. And I look at the Phillies, and it wasn't the hitting that hurt them. It was after the starting pitcher. Once we got beyond your starting pitcher, you just had nobody that you could give to us that could handle us. And that's why I feel like even though the Phillies are just increasing and increasing and increasing their offense, they have done nothing on the pitching side, which was the part of their team that honestly ultimately cost them the World Series. But awesome sauce. We shall get out of here now. God, 9:31. I don't think I can get that long. Final thoughts. Gonzo. Final thoughts. Hey, I know you got a lot of wrestling coming up, so I want to hear all the wrestling.
Bills are up 3-0. Been a great show. Thanks everybody that tuned in. We appreciate everybody that tunes in, and all the people in the comment section. Got a big wrestling show tomorrow in Cincinnati, Ohio. Be Gonzo Sports Room's first trip out of state to do a wrestling show. Dan the Beast Severn is going to be on the show. Zachary Wentz, Mickey Midas, some guys have been in AEW Dark, guys that's been on MLW, WWE, a lot of that stuff. So it's going to be a big show. So come join us tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern. We'll be live. And then also Sunday, we'll be live with another pro wrestling show at 3 p.m. Eastern afternoon. So maybe if your favorite football team is getting their ass kicked, come join us and watch a little bit of pro wrestling to get your mind off of it.
Hell yeah.
You can find that. You can find it at Gonzo Sports Room, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, like Logan had said earlier, check us out on Unscripted Sports on TikTok. And then put in, if you want to check us out on YouTube, it's kind of weird. When you check us out on YouTube, just type in YouTube and then the month, day, and year, the whole date. So YouTube plus the date of whatever show you want to watch. And that's how you'll check us out on YouTube. And then for Twitter, just go to Unscripted on Twitter. And you can find us on Twitter just under Unscripted alone. Man, what a time, man. Damien Hernandez, man, I love you, brother. I put your butt in timeout, but that's only because I love you. Number 2, Billy Buzz Smith, man. Cowboys for life, always and never fails, man. Appreciate you being on this show. Anthony Price, my boy from another mother, man. Appreciate you showing up on the show, commenting, doing your thing. And this has been another edition of Unscripted. We will not be here Saturday. I got my boy coming in from Houston on Friday, so I'm going to go show him around Savannah and do it up. Logan's got to work and make a few dollars to support that living conditions and stuff. Otherwise, I guess they'll evict him out of his apartment. Gonzo's got wrestling, and Frankie's got the kids. I guess everybody's got something going on Saturday. So we're going to take Saturday off. We're going to chill. We're going to watch sports. We're going to drink. And we will be back on Tuesday. And on Tuesday, I'm going to let you know somebody somebody in the minor league system back in the day struck out Babe Ruth and struck out Lou Gehrig back to back. And you would be really surprised at who that person was. Because when you find out who struck out Babe Ruth and when you find out who struck out Lou Gehrig in a minor league game back to back, it's going to blow your freaking mind. It's going to blow your freaking mind. And when it blows your freaking mind, you just remember one thing. You heard it right here on Unscripted. You heard it right here. Because we bring you the crazy stuff that nobody else talks about. Hey, it's your boy Jay McLovin. It's your boy Gonzo from Gonzo Sports Room. It's your boy Babyface Logan Landers. Again, man, appreciate everybody for tuning in. And we will see you guys back here Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Y'all be good. Have a good night. Bills, don't fuck this up.
Please tell me that I can't, that I won't, that I fail, that I'll never make it out, yeah. Please tell me all the bad, never good, fill my head full of every single doubt, yeah. Please say any negative thoughts, I pop off when I hear people say I cannot. I get off to the thought of proving everyone wrong, I won't stop to the top, so you better back off and get lost. I'ma stay loud, stay proud, never running out, never heading south. I'll be spreading out, call it word of mouth, can't put me down, I'll be getting loud. You can have your doubts, not what I'm about, have your f***ing cloud, it be raining out, I keep making sound, go another round, I'm legend bound, can't stop me now. You don't wanna fuck with me, a slow burn like a disease. Just tell me that I can and I'll show you things that you couldn't believe.